that are here. As always, appreciate you being here. So good morning. Welcome into our last Monday call of the year. It is 9 a.m. Eastern on, good Lord, the 22nd of December. And if you haven't purchased all those things for all those people, well, you're about to run out of time. But we haven't run out of time to make a little bit of money, close the year we want the way we wanted to. And today, you're going to hear some exciting updates, some exciting news, not just the normal news you can use, but some really exciting news for our agency, operationally, and I guess educationally. So stay tuned throughout the course of the next 30 to 35 minutes. On the conference call, somebody do me a massive favor and shoot me a text so I know I'm not talking to myself. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, today, tomorrow, or in 10 years, comment, like, interact with the video because you're going to learn something today that is really going to help us continue to grow in 2026. So again, good morning. Welcome into our last Monday call of the year. I'm going to do my very best to save the year in review stuff for tomorrow. Tomorrow is our last scheduled training of the year. There are several pre-recorded trainings that you'll hear throughout the course of Christmas break, but tomorrow's the last live one. And I couldn't resist sharing at least a little bit of year in review. But before I do, we have a special guest in a new partnership I'm going to announce at about the 15-minute mark of today's call. As soon as I'm done saying what I wanted to say, we're going to get into some really exciting news that's really going to help us scale in a way that I said moments ago off the record, I was never going to be able to do without finding someone to help me do it. So you're going to want to hear all about it. May not necessarily change the way you do what you do. It may, but it may, I guarantee it'll help us as we move into the next year together. Now, I wanted to start this morning as we begin to wrap up 2025 by saying a few simple wrap-up thoughts. I'm really, really proud of everyone that's here, everyone that's watching, everyone that's listening, that's been a part of our agency the last year and beyond, because so many of you have done really amazing things this year. So many of you have built really amazing aspects of your business. So many of you have maintained in the face of some really crazy challenges. And some of you here have taken a leap of faith, added Medicare, and began to develop new skill sets while helping the very same clients that you see. That's incredible. Some of you here have been here as long as we've done this agency thing together. Some of you joined us at different parts of the year and added your collective life experience, knowledge, wants, and whys you're in this business and have made us a better agency each time we get a chance to work with somebody new. Over the course of this last year, we've stayed the course, navigated challenges, and made necessary changes in our FMO partnerships. We made the move collectively together and without massive disruption to partner with Heartland on most of our life contracts. We made the decision that to be able to get anywhere we wanted to get in Medicare was going to require a change, and worked very closely over the last year to connect with, partner with, and work with Senior Resource Group. Now, of course, no agency, IMO, FMO, upline, or anyone will ever be perfect, but we've experienced already how these new partnerships have continued to help us grow. Now, I know that some of you faced challenges that you didn't see coming in this last 12 months together. From the day-to-day challenges of navigating the world we live in, raising kids, watching your family grow, maybe even having to take care of the generation above you. Everyone faces challenges you did and didn't expect. Young kids, aging parents, taking care of yourself. Challenges in business that you think sometimes, why is this happening to me? You've been there before, right? Challenges in business where it happens and you think to yourself, well, at this point, why bother? Like maybe I should just go do blank. We've all been there. Maybe you've been there this year. Probably have. But no matter what, you continue to show up. And sometimes that's all that's necessary, just showing up. Some days, that's all you could muster. And then others, you're all in and you get to see what the fruit of your work has created over the course of the last year. Now, I'm going to share with you what was supposed to be 6 ways you can scale in 2026, but we're not going to have time. I've got for you 4 ways you can scale in 2026, a great, exciting, big announcement after that, And then around 9:30, 9:35, we're going to wrap up and get started on our final few working days of the year. So let's get into it. I've got for you 4 ways to scale. And then tomorrow, remember, is our last call of the year. Tomorrow, one of my 3 most fun and memorable times to get together with you. I want to encourage you to be ready and willing to bring to our call, not on camera, don't worry about it, just the traditional call-in method, some thoughts that you might have had, reflections, expectations of the year to come, what you've done, what you think when you're looking forward to what's to come. So we're going to include a little bit of that in tomorrow's conversation off camera. No worries, the world won't see it, but be ready to share if you'd like. So let's talk about 4 ways to scale in 2026 and then to get into our big announcement together. Remember, if you want someone to hear the news that you'll hear, send them a call-in number, share the YouTube link with them, because you'll get a chance to share it with them the same time. All right, let's do it. So the first way to scale in 2026 is pretty simple. It's something that's taken pretty much all of 2025 to finally get the way I think it needed to be. And that's to sign up and set up the CRM. I know you're probably tired of even hearing about it, but I'm going to tell you why you should do it during your Christmas break. So, personally, after trying and buying and failing and finally setting the thing up properly, we have a fully built out CRM, custom branded, and a full agency setup. It's not just a single account, it's like the whole thing. Now, you might be asking yourself, what does any of this have to do with anything? Well, ask Tom Masterson. Tom got a sneak peek by accident, not by accident, but by surprise on Friday, and got a little bit of a behind the scenes of what it is, why he should get it, and what it's going to be able to do for his business and our agency. So I'm going to highly encourage you during your Christmas break to use the links I'm going to send out to you and set it up. Why? How's this going to help you scale? Well, first, our appointment setting team will have the ability, for those of you that utilize them, to stop doing all their work on a Google Sheet and then switching to a Google Calendar and then switching to their dialing software and switching back and forth between 3 different technologies just to try to set your 9 appointments in a day. They won't have to do that. They're going to be able to do everything they do for you in one centralized location that you can see what's happened anytime you want. Plus, in that CRM, you're going to be able to organize your book of business in a way you probably aren't doing right now. Let's say, for example, you're out in the field and you're headed to an area you haven't been in a year. Well, guess what? If you use that CRM properly, you can look up in that morning everyone that's in that area, have automation sent out to schedule appointments or follow-ups or Christmas visits. Who knows? It's so powerful that by taking some of the time this Christmas break to set it up, you'll feel like you've got the time without taking away from what you're used to doing. I have this opinion, and I'm going to data test it, that I think the people that choose to set this up will allow the appointment team to 10x their efficiency and allow you to 100x the organization that you probably just don't have in your business right now. Now, what else is this going to bring you? Well, by setting up this account, this CRM, not only will you have your own personal section where you can help scale your business by making sense of your business, number 2, you'll have access to a remote agent sub account. What the heck is that? Well, let me explain. In this remote agent sub account to your CRM, we're going to be pumping in and fine tuning over the course of time hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fresh, high quality final expense leads, and I'm sure a mix of Medicare leads as well. Now, while the remote agent sub account is going to be the primary hub where our remote agents have access to leads and continue to grow and scale, we're going to be announcing very shortly an opportunity that whatever the resources required to help this scale, I'll make sure provided, because we're going to have access to the training and the coaching necessary for you to know how to work this. Not the CRM part of it. That's just a technology thing. Like how to work high quality in your CRM leads for remote sales. You'll also have a third option. I guess it's like a second option, really, in the CRM to have a third account where if you want to recruit, like you want to actually build an agency correctly, and we've known how to do it incorrectly. We've known how to correct course on things. You want to replicate yourself and other people at your decision. You can get into the recruit sub account where recruit leads are funneled in the same way final expense leads are generated. And I'll provide all the coaching necessary on how to help you do that. So all of this will allow you in 2026 to do more in less time. Sounds strange, right? Like everybody wants to make more money and do less time. Well, how do you do that? You be more efficient with your time using the resources that are available. I'll tell you a quick side story. I'm testing a voice AI option on the market right now because one of my weaknesses in scaling and continuing to do more in less time or make more time is actually answering my phone. Not for agents, obviously, but for like all those consumer calls that you get, not the best at answering them. If voice AI can tell me who it is and what they want and how I can help them and I actually answer them, that'll be worth however much it costs. We got to figure out in this world that is so consistently busy how to do more in less time or how to make more time for other aspects of our life. That's how you scale. At least that's what I think. Second way that you can scale in 2026 is pretty simple, I think, and it's an increased focus on self-improvement. I am not a CrossFit athlete. I'm not a nutrition coach. I'm not a life coach or a therapist. None of those things. Not a monk or a priest. But I think we can all figure out ways in 2026 to focus with extra time that we've created through being more efficient on self-improvement. I'm going to give you an example here. I think stories are just as important as thoughts and words and data. I need to find a way in my personal life to force myself that to work and then work to be done for a little bit. Not saying I can't help you with a call because you're on the West Coast and you're in a home where you're on a sale. I get that. That has to happen. That's what I signed up for when I contract anybody below me. But at some point, the day-to-day work that doesn't need to be done has to be done. My self-improvement in a lot of ways needs to be drawing really firm boundaries around when stuff is happening and when family is happening. With an increased focus personally on time management, I think I can scale personal development all that better. Maybe instead of sitting there on the couch in my MacBook doing Canva, I could be doing reading out of an actual book. I don't know. Seems like a good idea. We'll see how hard I can test myself on that. How else can you help scale or yourself personally in 2026 is what every person says that I do interviews with for the most part. Read. Not just read by the side of the pool in July, but read on a regular basis. And I personally, in the process of scaling in 2026, want to be more present with the people that are important to me in the real world and decide when the routine aspects of work are over. I think you can scale your business in 2026 by making sure you're taking good care of yourself. Again, I'm not a primary care physician, a surgeon, just a paramedic that hasn't done paramedic stuff in 10 years. But we can all take better care of ourselves by making sure we're eating good. We're visiting a doctor, we're dentists, the eyes, all those things that you know that your final expense client has never taken care of. And we love them and we respect them, but we don't want to become the person that says, I don't need dental because I don't have teeth. Okay, take care of yourself. If you can be great at reallocating your time and being more efficient, maybe going to the doctor doesn't seem like you're missing time in your schedule. Again, I'm not saying you have to run a 10K every month of 2026, but you can find a way to be fit and active and be a better person that lives longer for yourself, your business, your family. Fourth, and we're going to get into our big news in just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Fourth, force yourself in January to do something you don't want to do or you're scared to do. Funny story. I am scared as heck to take what I do every day in this trainings and make it work on YouTube at the same time. Why is that? Well, it means I have to do something I've never done before on a consistent basis. That's a little scary, nerve-wracking, and makes you nervous. I want to encourage you in January to do something you don't want to do. It's nice to think and write out your plan for the entire year, but you're not going to be able to accomplish the entire year in 30 days. But you can make or break what 2026 looks like in January. It's like they say, you can't win the World Series in April, but you can sure put yourself in a position to never make the playoffs, right, Ricky? So Your January could look like a couple different things. Stay with me on this, and then our big announcement. Besides the CRM that you got to sign up for, you don't got to do anything. You're 1099. You should do it. Before we get into our other big announcement of the morning, here are a few quick ways that you can scale in intentionally focus on doing that in January. First, get back on track with leads. Like if you're on this call or you're watching right now or later today and you know you're off the rails with leads and not in a good way, have a come to Jesus or whoever you pray to moment and realize what you're doing can't work. What you're doing isn't going to work. And it obviously hasn't worked the way you wanted when you take a retrospective view of this year. Maybe it's time to focus on as few products as possible. Maybe it's time to give away the thoughts on high contracts and controlling everything yourself and just go head first into a program I'm about to announce, the support it's going to provide, and reinvent yourself. Maybe. Maybe January for you is leveling up on leads. Like you buy them every week, it's not a problem, but you know you can do more in less time if you have more leads. We can make that happen just as well. Maybe January to you could mean moving some of those straggler contracts that you know aren't where they're getting the support they need. If they were here, we could do more together, that kind of stuff. I know for a lot of us in January, there's going to be a lot of self-release stuff that has to be done with Medicare. It's not fun. Some of it didn't get done before, but trust me, I'm prioritizing that over anything to do with personal production for myself to get that stuff done for you. Hey, maybe January could mean setting the foundation for you on annuities. Again, this is something that I can't personally teach with any level of high authority, but we've got plenty of people that can. Maybe you think to yourself in January, you want to step into a role that helps run annuity for our agency, and we can put an offer together that makes it make financial sense for you to assume that role, whoever you could be. Next, January for you could be getting into areas in the field or in sales that you're just plain uncomfortable with. Ancillary, supplements, carriers you haven't written or haven't tried, diversifying your distribution so that it's not all nestled under one carrier. Again, we have our favorites for different reasons, but carriers come and go like the season sometimes. And if all your Medicare business is in one spot and that one spot exits, that's a pain in the neck to deal with. If all your life stuff is in one spot, I mean, a good seasoned agent can spread a little bit across, take care of their client, and not be all in on one basket. Build a book of business that's differentiated and diverse in different counties if you're selling in the field, maybe a slightly different state if it's not that far away. And 12 months later, you look back and say to yourself, well, holy cow, I was a little bit more diversified. And because I understood the power of annuities or ancillary or Medicare supplement or worked a county I never worked before, I'm making thousands of dollars more a month because of that diversification. And lastly, before I switch the screens around and bring on our featured speaker and our newest announcement, January can be, and you know this, whatever you want it to be, but you have to want it to be something more, and that has to be for you and not for me or for anyone else. Maybe over the course of this Christmas break ahead, not today, not tomorrow, finish strong, you got to reevaluate why you're doing it so that you can figure out what you need to do better and then implement that. Maybe you know you can do better. And by letting yourself recreate the why that brought you into this position and gets you to the next place, that makes a huge difference. Whatever that why is, whatever that want is something that you have to figure out for yourself. Maybe it could be an office, a physical location, and an opportunity to impact your local market. Maybe it can be any of the things that we discussed over the course of the first 15 minutes together, but you got to do the self-reflection necessary to figure out what you want to do and why you want to do it to scale properly in 2026. Now, give me a second here as I move one screen around, bring another screen on, and bring on, I do believe, our featured speaker of the morning and the announcement that I need two screens to do, but I don't have them, so we'll just make it work. Ashley Molinex, I believe I said it right. I should have asked you
You
before I
did.
said it out loud. I got it. Okay, perfect. We have
Yeah.
a special announcement to share with the agency this morning and with those watching on YouTube. We had probably tons of conversations and texts and back and forths. And finally, I said to myself, I think it was on Friday, let's just do it. She knows what she's talking about. She knows something I don't know about, and she's going to help us get to a spot with agents that want to sell remote in ways we could have never done before. So I don't have my notes in front of me, but I don't need them. We partnered together with your program, Amplify Life, which is a coaching and mentoring program. In no ways does it have any kind of hierarchy affiliation, and that's okay. In no ways is it an upline, downline, or crossline relationship. And that's actually a good thing because Ashley, as a coach, mentor, and with a program she's created to help agents in remote sales, that's her sole responsibility when it comes to working with our agency. Not not any of that other stuff that an upline has to do, risk, or worry about. And that's kind of how businesses grow. Businesses don't grow on everyone trying to do one thing or everyone trying to do things the way they've always done them. And collaboration is going to be a key aspect of helping us grow over the course of the next couple months and year to come. So, Ashley, if you wouldn't mind, for those listening in and those watching, introduce yourself, give like a quick background for those that don't know you, and then let's dive into what the Amplify coaching program is going to provide our agency when it comes to remote sales.
Yeah. So, hello, my name is Ashley Mullenix, hashtag the agent's mentor. So I've been in life insurance, strictly telesales, strictly final expense I'm almost about to hit my 3-year mark. I came into the industry and I was a struggling agent. About 7 months in, I had made one policy and I was stuck in the MLM Kool-Aid drinking hype fest of what it is. Luckily, I came across a mentor who actually taught me what it looks like on the phone and what activity really is. Coming 2 weeks out of training, I was able to do 5 sales after 7 months of only doing one. My second week, I did 7 sales. My third week, I did 10 sales, and I never left the double digits. And I am just on a passion mission, if you will, to help any and all agents, no matter their upline, no matter their IMO, to get really good at this because it is freeing being able to work from home. And there is a business model that if you know it and you're coachable and you can follow the person with the arrows in their back, you can absolutely scale in a big way.
And you know what's interesting? Even if you feel like you have a really good competency or an expertise at remote sales, experts can learn things from experts. People can collaborate together. People can share things together. You can pick up a tip and knowledge from people across the spectrum of this industry, and creating a partnership like this allows us to even focus that more intentionally. And again, let me make this empirically clear. This is not asking anybody to abandon the field for the phone. Not at all. I scared an agent away, Ashley, about a year ago when I talked about you got to be willing to work different lead types in this era. He's like, you're taking away to my direct mail? I quit. I want to release. I want to go to somewhere else. I'm like, calm down. That's not what I meant. Oops. So let me be empirically clear. For those of you that love the field as much as I do, keep doing you. But the tried and true methods that help people in remote sales that she can help you with is key. Imagine a situation where you're died and true in the field. You didn't die in the field. You love it, but you can't get out for one reason or the other. Your kid's sick. It's a half day of, actually, you know, all the crazy things that happen on a kid's schedule. It's like, what? What do you mean another day? I got to work. Well, guess what? With the CRM, with the coaching, and with the training, you can still do it. Now, there are people like Bernadette that came on and joined us just very recently that have dedicated themselves, took a few transfers, and already wrote business. And because of the CRM and because of the leads and because of her coaching, she's going to be working this week with over 100 fresh leads all across her states with your coaching. And with that kind of coaching and that kind of infrastructure, what kind of results would somebody like Bernadette see with your system in place?
Yeah. So I always say an average agent is at a 5% close. And so that looks like 5 sales, but a really good agent who actually shows up, gets really good at a skill set and understands, like has a really deep understanding of how to handle a conversation on the phone, they can easily close anywhere from 8 to 10 policies a week. And then out of 100 leads, you're looking at 8 to 10 sales off of it. It's just a matter of knowing how to handle the phones. You know, I've actually mentored a handful of agents that were in the field sales, and for one reason or another, they needed to transfer into telesales, right? It's usually family, they want time freedom, or health has changed. and they can't, do the face-to-face thing anymore. And there, I will let you know, face-to-face agents, there's a difference, right? Because you don't get that physical interaction. You can't play off of things on the wall or small talk. And the way you handle yourself in a telesales call, it's the attention span of people is different than what it was even 5 years ago. So there's a skill set to learn, and a way to go about it. But absolutely, anywhere from 5 to 10 policies off of 100 leads is what you're looking for.
I even think for those that are interested in scaling on Medicare, because we have access to enroll here, or we can pump Medicare leads through the machine just like we can final expense. The concepts really aren't
Mhm.
all that different. The scripting might be slightly different, but if you could understand the basic foundation of how to structure yourself, your day, your tech, and what you say through Ashley, you know,
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of
I know
possibilities
Medicare
there.
agents that work from home and they do amazing things working from home doing that.
Mhm. Absolutely. Now, we want to make sure that we share a little bit of practical knowledge with those watching or listening today, as we still have a few days left this year to make money, get a quick couple deposits, and be able to enjoy Christmas or whatever schedule time a well-oiled agent has built into their schedule. Let's wrap up with
Mhm.
some quick practical tips that you'd like to share with our agency this morning.
Yeah, so when you're dealing with families, I always like to ask open-ended questions and always be prepared to ask the next question. So a big thing that, and I'm sure this happens face to face, it happens a lot in telesales, is agents feel like they need to insert fill in the blanks for, let's call her Mildred. Meaning, okay, I guess if you don't take care of your final expenses, is your daughter going to have to do a GoFundMe, or is she going to have to pass the plate at the church, or maybe do a barbecue? Instead of giving your client options, because what's going to happen, they're just going to agree with you. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, yeah, my daughter's going to have to pass the plate. You're right. You need to ask open-ended questions so that they can fill in the blank, because that's their truth. And they need to rationalize the situation too. And so instead of filling in the blank, just ask the question openly. What does it look like, God forbid you die tomorrow and you have no coverage in place? Let them speak. Then repeat back what they're saying. Oh, wow. Okay. So your daughter would have to pass the plate, is what you're saying? Yes. Well, how would it make you feel knowing that that's what she has to do? Get really good at asking open-ended questions and then actively hear what they're saying and then ask more questions. That's how you go deep. And that's how you get your clients to start to sell themselves, because they will make a buying decision before you even get to quote. And that's how you do it.
Yeah, I think people discount the power of active listening and giving the person a chance to talk and saying to yourself at times, I say this to myself all the time in the home, on the phone, whatever, shut up, shut up, shut up, don't talk, let them talk, shut up, shut up, shut up, let them talk. Because it's so challenging to not listening is not waiting for your turn to talk. It's actually letting them talk. And what's weird is there's a lot of people, Ashley, that process and then respond to the conversation. And we live in such an instant society. You're like, are you gonna say something? What are they gonna say? Say talk, talk, talk. But they're actually listening and processing and then answering. I did hours and hours over the years of podcasts with Nick Frumpkin. Never had any hierarchy affiliation with Nick. Love him or hate him in the industry. Watch some of the videos. Like, I'll say something, nothing, and then words. And that's challenging in an interview to work with. But conversationally, you got to let the person talk. Otherwise, you're selling
Mhm.
yourself, not them selling themselves. So, Ashley, I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing a few words on open-ended questions and the power that brings in the presentation. If you guys have any questions on what the Amplify coaching program brings to Loyal, let me know. If you're watching, you say to yourself, I need someone to coach me on telesales. It's not me. That's okay to say out loud, right? Honesty's okay. It's Ashley. And if you have anything that you need in our agency that you know you're going to need as this year wraps up, please let me know. I'm going to enjoy some intentional time with my wife, myself, and the world around me. And once this thing comes to an end, I'm going to be away for a couple of days. So if you need something, please let me know. Ashley, hold me to it. If I text you while I'm away, say, go away. No, you're off. Because I think one of the things I'm already excited about working in this partnership with is her time management and her focus and her dedication to things outside of business is something we can all learn as much as being really good in our business as well. So let's go out there and win Monday, dominate Tuesday, and then enjoy the world and the people you work so hard for. The show is not over yet. It's just begun today. And I'll see you back tomorrow for our final call and get together just on the phone for 2025. Ashley, thanks for joining us and excited to see what we do together coming up next.
Thank you for having me.